Hello, welcome to another session of Teabox Masterclass. Today we are going to discuss one of the most ubiquitous topic, that why freshness in tea is important. How appealing is the idea of having say 6-month-old potatoes, or if not, what about cooking with a month-old carrots and beans? If none of that sounds appealing, imagine drinking tea which is almost a year old and stale, sitting in some dusty storeroom. When tea, just like carrots, beans, potatoes, is an agriculture product and tastes best when it is fresh. Time, energy, money spent on manufacturing good quality tea goes to complete waste if you do not pay due attention to the very storing of the tea, especially during the processing and while in transit. Because what really happens is that tea happens to be something called a hygroscopic substance. Now, hygroscopic substances, they tend to absorb moisture. And because tea falls under that category, they tend to absorb atmospheric moisture, which goes on to deteriorate their lifespan. It's important to keep your teas dry to increase their shelf life. Now, most of the times teas, when they come packed, they come with almost like a 3-year lifespan. But the problem is teas do not go stale or they do not go off like other packed products because they're already dried. Now, when teas begin to deteriorate, they generally start losing their flavor, the taste becomes flat. So to avoid your teas being exposed to humidity and moisture, it is important how you treat the teas right after they leave the garden. Now, a good tea maker knows that. They generally will pay a lot of attention to the packing and storing of teas. Now, the teas that are easily available in the market, they're generally packed in paper sacks, jute bags, and they're stored in those dusty tea rooms for almost 6 months, where they lose almost 70% of their flavor. Now, if you're packing your loose leaf teas in vacuum packing and making sure that all of it is done in the right way, the process takes place correctly, you're going to make sure that the teas are as fresh and the flavors as crisp, just like how they arrive from the garden. Also, storing teas in cold storage ensures that the teas have the moisture level almost up to 3%, which is ideal, and that goes on to increase their shelf life. Now, when the teas arrive to you, there are some things that you can do to make sure that you keep the shelf life of your teas going on for a long time. The first thing that you need to pay attention to is air. Oxygen makes your tea go stale really fast. To avoid that, make sure that you keep your tea stored in airtight packs or containers. Now, zip seal packaging, it will be like a short-term solution to your storing of teas, but making sure that you store it in airtight tin caddies or jars and storing them in dark places. That's what makes sure that the tea is really fresh. Second is light. Now, light can also cause pretty good damage on the teas, leading to discoloration, loss of flavor, and generally try to avoid storing teas in glass jars unless you are storing it in dark places. Generally, tin caddies or any kind of ceramic pots, they're excellent for storing your teas. The third one is heat. Just like light, heat can cause pretty good impact on deteriorating the quality of the tea and can cause significant damage to the very quality of it. So try and avoid, storing your teas directly under the sun or well-lit places. As I said earlier, dark places are generally very ideal in storing your teas. Now, the fourth is smell. This is perhaps the biggest culprit out there because a lot of times people will store their teas along with coffee, spices, without realizing that tea, being a hygroscopic substance, tends to absorb all these surroundings, smell and aroma. This is also one of the reasons most of the people in a quality team or master tasters, they tend to avoid wearing any kind of strong perfume or lipsticks, etc., which will contaminate the tea. The last problem is keeping your teas away from moisture. Now, this is maybe the enemy number one, but it is important that you never keep your teas anywhere which is damp or there is water around it. If you're going to do that, you are going to most definitely spoil your tea. Your tea is only as fresh as you treat it. So it's important that you treat it right. I hope this session answered that very important question, that why freshness is important in tea. For it is only freshness that makes a world of difference. Hope you all enjoyed this session. Stay tuned.